Welcome to Carting Truth Podcast, a father-daughter duo focusing on sharing revelations through conversations with the Lord. Let's get started with today's episode. Welcome to Carting Truth Podcast. I'm Lindsay here with my dad Shane, and boy, do we have an end times revelation for you. Actually, several of them. We're going to be going through Revelation chapter 6. It is packed full of end times revelations.
Yes, Lindsay, Revelation chapter 6 has so many revelations. I hope we can get through all of them. It's going to take us a while. There's a lot of things we need to understand before we actually start into this study. One of the things we need to understand is you have to have a large understanding of the Old Testament before you can understand the book of Revelation. It is assuming that you know the Old Testament. And if you don't know the Old Testament and you start trying to get into this book, it gets really wonky.
Okay, I didn't know that. I didn't know it referenced it so much. I feel like a lot of people are in the Gospels all the time, myself included. So I need to freshen up on the Old Testament.
Well, the end time symbolism is just carried over into this book. The Bible's like a puzzle, right? Mm-hmm. And if you get the pieces in the wrong place, then you don't get the picture at the end. And that's kind of what's going on with a lot of people's interpretations of Scripture, is they're not putting the pieces in the right place. And we've got a lot of doctrines, especially now with this falling away taking place, that are completely off kilter. So when we start trying to understand this book, we just can go anywhere. Wow. But you have to have a healthy understanding of Ezekiel chapter 28, the cherub that fell that we talked about.
Okay.
And you have to have a healthy understanding of Daniel 7 and Daniel 2 before you can understand what this book's talking about.
Go read the Old Testament. It is still relevant today. I know a lot of people try to say, well, that's the Old Testament. That's, Jesus hadn't came yet. You need to read the New Testament. This is proof that you'll never understand the revelation of the end times until you know the Old Testament too.
The Old Testament is the key to the New Testament. It's giving you the information. It's giving you all the factors that you need to be able to come to a conclusion. Plus, you have to have a revelation from the Holy Spirit. I mean, yes. You can't just, this is not a mind game or a mind study. This is revelation from the Lord. So let's get into Revelation chapter 6 and look at it. And we'll be in a lot of Old Testament references in this. So let's get started with Revelation chapter 6, and we'll do it verse by verse. And I don't know how many verses we'll get through because the first verse will probably eat up a lot of time.
Wow.
All right.
Okay.
Let's go over to Revelation 6. Okay, we're in Revelation chapter 6, verse 1, and it says, "And I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard as it were the noise of thunder, one of the four beasts saying, 'Come and see.'" All right. So I got to preface a lot of things before we can understand what's going on here.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
One thing is you've got to realize that in the book of Daniel, chapter 12, he tells us that these seals are coming. All right?
Okay.
So let's go over and look at that really quick. Just read it really quick, and then we'll get back into this, okay? Let's go over to Daniel chapter 12. So this is in the book of Daniel, chapter 12, verse number 4. "But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even till the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased." So God's telling us in the Old Testament that the book is to be sealed up. Now that's the book of Daniel, but it's also, this is expounding on the book of Daniel. So when it's talking about these seals being released, it's actually explaining more detail what was told to us in the book of Daniel. And so if you don't read Daniel and you jump into this, you don't realize that this is an explanation of Daniel. You don't understand that. Yeah.
We've linked those two together. So
what's great about it is it's showing us that God is the author of this book. This is the logos of God. This is the logic of God. He's giving us his logic. He's giving us his pattern of thinking. Okay. That's what this book does. That's why I like it so much. It's telling us how God perceives and looks at things. And when I say that, it's not just his perception. It's the perception of every perception, because his perception is every perception.
That's a mind-blowing.
It is mind-blowing. It
Yeah.
is. But Daniel's telling us that the book is sealed up till the end, and then we now see it being unsealed. And that's another thing we needed to talk about. All right.
Okay.
These seals are not a causality. They are a revelation. So when we blow a trumpet, right, it causes something. When they pour out a vial, it causes something. This is not causing it. This is revealing it to us. A seal reveals it. When you pop a seal, what you're doing is you're opening up to get understanding out of it, right?
Right.
Well, it's giving us the understanding, but it's not causing it. It's telling us it's coming, but
Okay.
because these seals have been opened, it's not happened yet. It's just showing us that it's coming. When that trumpet blows, it happens. When this seal is popped, it's just revealing to us it's coming. You know, everybody says, well, what about the seal judgments? Well, the seals aren't really judgments. The seals are revelations, because this is the revelation of Jesus Christ.
Right.
So
Okay.
this seal is giving revelation as to Jesus Christ. It's not causing this to happen. But the trumpet is causing something to happen. The vial is causing something to happen, because they are judgments.
Yes.
Right?
Okay. I'm with you. I'm with you.
So that's another misunderstanding about this chapter. It's not causing the event, it's revealing the event. So we're going to go through here, and it's going to reveal the events that takes place in the last week of Daniel. That's what this is.
Okay.
It's showing us how these events are going to be revealed. And when we get that, it starts making more sense. But got to have the understanding of Daniel first to be able to understand that the revelation is coming from the book of Daniel. All right?
Wow. Okay.
Revelation of John's giving us more details about what the book of Daniel was talking about all along. Because there's one God. And he wrote this whole book.
And he wrote the whole book, so it makes sense that he would reference himself.
Yeah, Daniel penned the book of Daniel, but he didn't author it.
Right.
John penned the book of Revelation, but he didn't author it.
Right.
God was working through them. The Holy Spirit was working through them. All right?
Yes.
So these seals are broken up,
Okay.
and we're starting to see what God is going to do in these seals. Now, there's something else that we have to understand before we start discerning this book. All right? It's got a chronological order about it, somewhat. And somewhat it's pictures, like if you were opening, like you had your computer, right?
Yeah.
You open this window over here and you open this window. Well, they're not necessarily connected to each other,
Right.
but they may be telling something about each other.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So let's go back into chapter 4 and read a verse that we need to read, because as these are opening, we will see that these beasts that are named are part of the revelation. All right?
Okay.
Gets a little deeper. So let's go over into chapter 4 and read a verse, and this will make more sense here in just a second. All right, so we're in Revelation chapter 4, verse 6 and 7. And before the throne there was a sea of glass like unto crystal, and in the midst of the throne and round about the throne were 4 beasts full of eyes before and behind. And the first beast was a lion, and the second beast was a calf, and the third beast had a face as a man, and the fourth beast was like a flying eagle.
Here we go with the cherub again.
Here we go with the cherub
He keeps
again.
showing up.
Yes. Now, they each have 4 faces, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is saying the first beast was like a lion.
Right.
Wait a minute. I thought they each were like a lion. I thought they each were like a eagle. I thought they each were like a calf. I thought they each were like a man. This is getting wild.
This is getting wild.
So when you got into Ezekiel, right? Ezekiel described the same beast. But here's what you got to understand. They each have 4 faces. And each face, right, appears to you no matter how you approach God in the same order. So it's a square, right?
Okay.
So if I walk towards God, the first beast on the left would have a face of a lion, right? The next beast over here would have the next face. The beast behind him would have another face, and the beast over here would have another face, right? You turn him,
And then they're
and it's the same again.
okay.
So no matter how you approach God, you're approaching him in holiness. You're approaching him as the same, because he never changes, right?
How brilliant.
Yes.
That's
So no matter how you approach him, that's right. So he's telling us, Daniel's telling us in the order in which these beasts are looking at you. So when we were looking at chapter 6, we had one of the beasts calling, right? Well, Daniel tells us that the beast that's first is the lion, right? So the face of the lion has to do with the revelation of this first rider.
Okay.
So what was the first beast that Daniel 7 told us about? It told us about a lion, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And what did Daniel say? The first face he saw was of a lion.
Yeah.
And what was the lion? The lion was Babylon. So this rider comes out of Babylon.
Okay.
It's telling this.
Okay.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So the lion is the one that's telling us about what's happening here. And the reason it's the lion is because this happens in Babylon, just like we talked about in the Old Testament. That's why God used this beast to tell us.
Okay.
So it's all connected. He don't do anything without thinking about it.
Right.
And he doesn't do anything if it's not relevant to what he's talking about.
Wow.
A lot of layers to God in there.
So much. You'll never get it all, I feel like.
Well, you can get a lot of it, but it's a study. You've got to chew on it. You've got to, as the Old Testament Psalms book says, Selah, think about it, reflect on it, chew on this, meditate on this, because through that meditation and prayer, the revelation comes.
Oh,
that gives the Spirit a chance to talk to you.
That's the secret. Selah.
Selah.
Selah, Selah. Got to get that revelation.
Got to get that revelation, and you get it by chewing on it. Just like a cow. You know, they eat the grass all day, then they lay down and chew on it.
Okay.
Chew their cud.
Nice example there.
So let's go on and read the next verse, and let's see what the lion is going to tell us about. And it's connected to the lion. And I saw, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer. All right, so this is the king of Babylon being revealed. You remember we talked about the seven-headed dragon, right? And we talked about what all those heads meant.
Right.
And the eighth head was part of the seven and was coming back again. And he was and is not and yet came back again, which was talking about Judas, but also was talking about the king of Babylon, which was also talking about the stump with the iron and the brass on it coming back out of the roots.
Okay.
You see how you chew on that and you get all that from that? All right. So this guy riding this white horse is the king of Babylon. He is the Antichrist. He is the man of sin. He is the serpent's seed that's coming back. And he's riding up on a horse, a white horse. Right? So also, as we go through this is an important thing to keep in mind. Every color of these horses is on the Muslim flags.
Oh.
Yeah.
We might need to flash that up.
We'll throw it up. But I won't say all of them, but most of the Muslim flags will have all four of these colors or a combination of them. All right?
Okay.
So the colors are white, black, red, and green. And we'll notice that this is the white color. This is the white horse. All right?
Oh.
And also, as these horses are revealed, they're progressive. The white one causes the red one. The red one causes the black one, and the black one causes the green one. They're progressive too as they go. I told you there's a lot in this.
There's so much. And what are we in verse 2?
We're in verse 2. And there's something we got to say about verse 2 before we go on.
Okay.
This is a deep, deep revelation. This came after many years of chewing. All right. So you're getting the benefit of this 40 years of studying this in this next revelation. All right.
All right.
I always wondered, why did he have a bow? And I've heard all kinds of teachers say, oh, well, he has a bow, but he don't have no arrows. That's not what it's saying. That's not what it's talking about. That's not what the bow is for. All right.
Okay.
It goes back. It's like I said, you got to know the Old Testament. All right. So when Noah came out of the ark,
Yes.
God put his bow in the air.
Rainbow.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. He put a rainbow, but it's his bow. All
Right.
right. So when we go into the book of Kings, we need to read a passage and you'll understand about this bow. All right. So let's go read that passage, and this bow even gets bigger. Okay. Sorry, Lindsay, it wasn't the book of Kings. It was the book of Samuel that I was remembering this verse. This is a very obscure verse that a lot of people don't pay any attention to, but it's very, very, very connective to Revelation chapter 6, verse 2. All right?
Okay, so we're in Samuel.
We're in 2 Samuel 1, verse 17. All right?
All right.
And it says this. And David lamented with this lamentation over Saul and over Jonathan his son. And he bade them teach the children of Judah the use of the bow.
Ooh.
Behold, it is written in the book of Jasher. So this is telling us what happened. Okay, we got to get into that so you can understand what this is talking about. So Saul and Jonathan get killed. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Saul and Jonathan, because they were the king, they had to take up the bow and the sword and the shield and all that to protect the kingdom because they were the king, right?
Okay.
Now, after the death of Saul, David became the king.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what this passage is telling us about. You have to take up the bow because Judah now, instead of Benjamin, is the tribe with the king. So that's why it said Judah had to take it up, right?
Okay.
Well, that's a big key, right? Because this Antichrist figure who is riding on the white horse, remember we said that was Judas Iscariot.
Right.
Where did Judas Iscariot come from?
Was the tribe of Judah.
It's the tribe of Judah. And the tribe of Judah in this verse had to pick up the bow. So this is telling us that the Antichrist is from the tribe of Judah. This bow is.
Oh, okay.
The bow come originally from God's bow, turned into a weapon, all right? And then it went to Saul because he was the protector. Then the tribe changed to Judah. So Judah's now the protector, right?
Right.
So Judah takes up the bow, and Judas is from the tribe of Judah.
Okay, so I'm making more of a picture here that it's like you said, there's a verse without bow and arrows, but it's not even saying that. It's like passing the torch to someone.
Yes, Judah is supposed to take up the bow, and Judas was of Judah. So this is telling us secretively, if you know the Old Testament story, that Judas is this guy riding this horse.
Right. Okay.
Because he was from the tribe of Judah.
Right.
And Judah had to take up the bow after Saul's death.
Wow.
So it is telling us this. Now, you would have never got that had you not known the Old Testament and had you not known that Judah was to take up that bow.
Right. I would have thought like anybody else that it was a weapon they were talking about for war or something.
It is a weapon, but those who take it up are from that tribe.
Exactly.
So if you take that from the book of Daniel, where it tells us that he does not honor the God of his fathers, the Elohim, which is only given to Israel, right? So we know he's Jewish based on that verse, right?
Right.
This is further confirming that he's Jewish, and it's also taking us to the tribe he's from.
Wow.
He's taking his tribe because Judah takes up the bow. This guy has a bow. Why? Because he's from Judah. And what is he trying to do? He's pretending he's a king.
Yes.
That's what the crown is.
Right.
He's from Judah. He's pretending he's a king.
He's mimicking Jesus.
He's trying to mimic Jesus. And how can you mimic somebody if you've not been around them?
That's right.
And he was one of the 12. And Jesus said he was a devil. It's coming back out again. See, it doesn't go away.
Right.
You know, we said, oh, well, the Antichrist is Judas. Oh, no, he's not. He's born on earth. No, he's not. He ascends out of the bottomless pit. He's already lived and died. He's already had a confrontation with Jesus. He betrayed him.
Right.
He got his neck hung, bruising of the head. He bruised Jesus's feet. Everything that Genesis 3:15 Judas did, and now we're seeing again it's Judas because he's got a bow in his hand, and Judah has to take up the bow. And if you don't know the Old Testament, you don't know why he's got a bow in his hand. You just automatically think he's a man of war, which he is a man of war. The Psalm says he's a man of war.
Right. Right. He is. Yes.
He is. He's got war in his heart. It says it.
Right.
But
what that passage was telling us.
Passage
The
was
different-
getting very deep about who this is.
Yeah.
And we don't know the Old Testament. And we don't realize that Judah has to take up the bow. We don't realize that this guy's from the tribe of Judah.
Wow.
He's going to pretend to be Christ, right? Antichrist. He's coming from the same tribe.
Oh my goodness.
Just like Satan come from the heavenly realm and fell, Judas come from the tribe and fell. It's that connection.
Everything proved him to be the Antichrist. Everything.
Everything takes you there. All right. Also, he was given a crown, right?
Right.
And he went forth conquering and to conquer. Well, that's what happens in chapter 11 of Daniel. If you start watching how the footprint of this Antichrist moves around, he's conquering other nations to conquer them, to conquer the whole earth, which is the Muslim agenda.
It is.
He will come out of the bottomless pit. He will feign to be the Mahdi, I'll put the H in there, the Mahdi.
Yeah.
He will feign to be the Mahdi, and he will be leading the Muslim people, but he'll be a Jew.
Wow. Okay.
You can't be anti-Christ unless you know what Christ is about. And
Right.
who better to know that than Judas? Because Judas never called him Lord. He just kept calling him Rabbi.
He did. That is a huge point when you read the Last Supper, like that he never said Lord. All of it, the rest of them called him Lord. He called him Lord.
Revelation 17 says that the beast ascends out of the bottomless pit. And Peter said that Judas, when he died, he went to his own place. He had a special place reserved for him. He comes out of the bottomless pit and he gets on this white horse because he is feigning to be the Mahdi. He is feigning to be the king. And he's from the tribe of Judah because he bears the bow.
Oh my God.
Ain't that a big verse?
That is huge.
Well, let's go on to the next one.
Okay.
All right, verse number 3 says, and when he had opened the second seal, I heard the second beast say, come and see. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword. So we have this guy going forth to conquer and to conquer, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when he opened the second seal, the second beast came and said, come and see. Now, what was the second beast? It was a calf. And remember back Ezekiel was talking about the face of the calf was the cherub. And what did it say about the cherub? It said he was a murderer, right? So what does this seal bring about? It brings about death. It brings about war. That's what this cherub's all about, all right? Yeah. And he's red. Remember, the dragon was red. Why? Because he let blood. He was a murderer, right? What does this calf do? Brings forth the blood. And the white causes the red to happen because this guy's going around conquering, right? Well, when you're conquering something, you've got to create war to conquer, right? So this is the horseman of war. He's red. He's bringing forth blood.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
So one takes the other. Guess what? The red is on the Muslim flag also.
Far.
The white and the red will be on the Muslim flag, and we'll pull up some of those flags and put them out there for you.
Okay.
So you see how this is kind of cascading itself as it goes?
Yeah.
So he goes forth, and he brings forth war. He brings forth bloodshed. That's why he's red. The white is pretending to be purity, and then he brings forth war. So what does the Muslim faith do? They claim to be pure.
Right.
So they kill you if you don't go with them, right?
Exactly.
That's hooked together.
Yeah.
This Muslim Antichrist, this Mahdi, will be doing all that the Muslim traditions tell them to do. So let's go into the next couple of verses. Okay. And then we may have to quit. All right, so in Revelation 6, we're in verse number 5. And when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, come and see. And I beheld, and lo, a black horse, and he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hands. And I heard a voice in the midst of the fourth beast say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine. So The third beast, right,
Uh-huh.
was man,
Yes.
right? And man's made in the image of God,
Right.
and God demands justice. So we got balances, right?
Right.
So we had a religious leader come up. He starts a war, and then after the war, what comes next? Well, if you're fighting all the time, you don't have time to plant food and to do what's right. Plus, you have to feed your army. So the black is famine
Okay.
because you don't have time to plant if you're fighting, right?
True.
And war brings about destruction.
Mm-hmm.
So where's the food coming from? One cascades on the other.
Right.
You got the religious leader, which is a power struggle,
Mm-hmm.
and then you've got the bloodshed,
Right.
and then the bloodshed causes famine.
We got blacks. We got white, red, and black. So
Red and black.
3 out of the 4.
And that's what man do. Man goes to darkness. That's kind of what the mark of the beast is really telling us. It's 666. Man.
Yes.
Well, what does man do? Man's got a death sentence. What is this doing? This is after a slaughter. Then you got famine.
Okay.
You reap what you sow. That's why it's got the justice. It's got the scales. You see how it's progressive?
Right. Right.
And the beasts are telling us because the beasts are connected to what's happening.
Right. Okay.
It just keeps getting bigger and bigger
Builds
as
on
it turns.
itself.
It builds
Yes.
on itself.
Right.
All right. So that is the third horse.
Okay, so we can't stop there. I said we're doing 4. We're at least got to cover 4. We can't stop at 3 out of 4. So
That's true.
we got to at least see this.
Can't
number
leave them
4.
hanging.
We can't leave them hanging, or me.
Well, and it's also progressive, right?
Uh-huh.
So if you've got the religious figure, then you've got the red figure, right?
Right.
And then you got famine.
Mm-hmm.
What would be the result of all that? Let's go look and
Let's
see
go
what.
see.
Let's go see what the result is. Revelation 6 verse 7 says, "And when he had opened the fourth seal, I heard the voice of the fourth beast say, 'Come and see.' And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him, and power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth to kill with the sword, with hunger, with death, and with the beasts of the earth." So our last one that's telling us, our last beast is what? It's the eagle.
Mm-hmm.
So what did Jesus say when he comes? He calls all the eagles. Why? Because there's going to be a battle. There's going to be a lot of people. There's going to be death.
Okay.
So the sign of death is the birds coming down to land on the carcasses and to eat them.
Right.
So that's the beast that's telling us about this.
Mm-hmm.
You see how it's all connected?
Mm-hmm.
Now, so after you have the white horse and the red horse war, and then you have famine, what's next? People start dying. And that's what this horse is. The pale horse, if you look at it, it's a green. It's a green color because that's you kind of turn green,
Okay.
when you die.
Right. Okay.
So that's what this is telling us about. This is also on the Muslim flag again. It's cascading itself, and it's showing us that without Christ, without the true Christ, not the Antichrist, there comes war, there comes lack of food because God is our source, and there comes death. And that's all the curse that happens, all back at the tree. You'll be like gods if you eat from this tree.
Right.
But the thing is, if you try to be God, you end up dying.
Yeah.
That's what the law does.
Right.
Without righteousness, it destroys you.
That's true. That's
All
true.
these things are connected together. And these 4 horsemen that are gone, they're progressive all the way through. And they're spirits. Even the first one is a spirit, because remember we told you that Judas Iscariot has already died. He comes out, he's a soul man, right? So he's a spirit.
Mm-hmm.
So these other horsemen are spirits that are a result of this spirit coming. Each one causes the other.
Right.
It cascades, it builds, it explodes in this. And so we've run out of time this time, but even the next verse, if y'all want to go ahead to the next verse, we'll see the result.
Okay, yeah. It's like we called it too quick. We gotta keep going with this. We're gonna get some why did you start this and not finish this?
Let's go through one more verse, and then we've run out of time. All right,
Okay,
we'll go through one more verse because it's still
Daddy,
it's still
come on.
cascading. This cascades all the way to the end. So we'll have to do this in 2 parts, but it will cascade all the way to the end. So we're really going to leave them hanging no matter what. All right. So let's go do the next verse, and then we'll wrap it up. All right. Okay. So chapter 6, verse 9 says, and when he had opened the 5th seal, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're no longer dealing with things upon the earth. So we don't have the beasts of the earth involved in this.
Okay.
All right. That's why we left them. That's why there wasn't another beast coming and saying, come and see. Right.
Right.
So because we've left the earth, we're looking into the heavens now. But we just got through having a horseman, right, that was white, that caused the red one to come, which was war, which caused the famine to come, which was black, which has caused the death to come, which is green, right? So we got all these dead people, right? Mm-hmm. Let's see what happened to them.
Okay.
And when he opened the 5th seal, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of God and for the testimony which they held. And they cried with a loud voice, saying, how long, O Lord, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth? And white robes were given to every one of them, and it was said unto them that they should rest for a little season until the fellow servants also and their brethren that should be killed as they were should be fulfilled. So that's telling us again, we're here.
Okay, yeah, I need an explanation of that one.
Well, through this whole process, we're still here, right?
Right.
So we get to experience this, and we die during this time, right?
Okay.
Because this is escalating, right?
Right.
So God's showing us what happens to us. We go up and under the throne of God, and we say, hey, they killed us down there. When you going to do something about it? And he says, well, wait a minute. Let's make sure everybody's dying that's going to die before we do this, because God always waits to the end to reconcile everything. All right. So he's telling them to wait. Okay. So he says, you died during this time, and yes, you were here. You didn't get raptured out, but you had to give your life, right?
Right.
And so we're petitioning him. Hey, wait a minute, they killed us. What are you going to do about it, God? And God says, well, I'm going to do something about it, but you got to wait till we're completely done. Right. Which is when Christ comes. He reconciles everything. Right. God's a reconciler. He'll wait to reconcile everything. But he don't waste his time doing something over and over again. He does it all at once, gets it completed, and goes on. All right?
That's why he didn't do a pre-mid. That's why he doesn't rapture separately and all that stuff, because he comes to restore all things one time.
Right. Now, we remember, like we talked about last week, in the middle part, the gospel's finished, right? And then this stuff starts happening. But the Antichrist comes first, which is the white horse, right? Right. And then after he gets full power, which can happen to the center part of the week, then the rest of these horses start riding. So he's talking, oh, well, those horses already took off riding. No, they ain't took off yet. The Antichrist has to come first. When he's revealed, he reveals on the white horse. That first conquering and to conquer takes the first 3.5 years. But he can't get to us yet because the gospel's being preached. Once that gospel gets done being preached, he gets full power, and he has power to do all the rest of these horsemen. That's what causes all the rest of these to happen. So we can get out of kilter really quick if we don't understand how, and that's one reason we did the tribulation in our last video. If you've not seen that, go back and watch that.
It is such a good mental picture if you're like a mental picture person like me. And even if you're not, it lays it all out for you in order, just how the next 7 years are going to go.
Right. And so then when we know that first 3.5 years, the first horseman rides, and then after he comes into full power, then the other horseman rides, because that's what hell does, right? Hell is a lack of God.
Yes.
So basically what's happening during the great harvest is hell comes on earth. All right? Yeah. And that's when these last 3 horsemen take off. The first horseman comes at the first, and he goes forth conquering and to conquer. And once he gets to that point, God gives him power over all, because there's no reason for us. God won't let him get to us as long as we've got things to do for God. Right. But once the gospel's done, we won't have anything else to do. He gets full power. Mm-hmm. And then he causes these horsemen to ride. The first one causes the other one to ride. That's the reason I said they're cascading. Yeah. One has to allow the other one. The second horse can't ride before the first one, right? Well, the first one's got to ride, and he gets 3.5 years of riding before the other ones ride the last 3.5 years, which is where all this trouble comes from, where the famine and the wars and the death comes from. Why? Because hell's in charge. And that's what hell is. It's the lack of life.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what they do. So glory be to God. Once we die, we're done with this place.
Yes.
I mean, we're done. We're not done with the earth. We're done with this age. We're done with these evil spirits.
Right. We're going to enter our season of rest.
That's it.
So, and we have no reason to fear.
No fear.
End times. No.
Well, even though they died and even though they cried out, the sting of death has been taken by Christ. He took the sting of death.
Yes.
That's why everybody, that's probably where the pre-tribulation rapture got its strength from, is because people didn't want to die.
But
their faith.
Exactly. But that was one thing that comforted me about Charlie is I know he never felt the bullet. He was watching outside his body, everything happened, but he never felt a thing.
Yeah. Yep. I think the sting of death was taken.
Yes.
He just went right into glory. He's still there and he wouldn't come back if he could.
Amen. Amen.
I've been there. Watch our first episode. I've been there. Once you cross over, you don't want to come back.
Yes. We want to see you in heaven.
Just confess your sins. Make Jesus the Lord of your life. Abide in him and walk with him, and you will live with him forever.
If you are enjoying the content and would like to support our ministry, you can do so through Venmo or PayPal. Our handle is @CardingTruth, or use our QR code. Well, at least got him to go through 5 of the 7 seals, and I hope you guys enjoyed that. That was a lot, and it made so much sense, and I am so glad that he took us through all of that. We will continue the seals from Revelation chapter 6 next time. We are so thankful that you are here, and we want to thank our subscribers as well. And if you haven't subscribed, we would love if you would like, subscribe, and click the bell for more notifications. Drop us a comment down below. We have been loving these comments lately. We love to read those. We try to respond to those, and it gives us so much joy to see you guys talking with us. Until next time, from Carding Truth, be blessed.